to be as transparent as I can on your true opportunity and what you guys have in front of you. And so when my talk was going to be about, it was going to be called Own Your 60, right? So you guys have 60 minutes just like I have 60 minutes. It's the great equalizer, right? So does the individual who also, works an entry-level job flipping burgers at In-N-Out or working at a retail store, right? We all have the same 60. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, the difference between entry level and what we do is the certain aspect of time is money, right? Like our hour is always different on the amount of will and the amount of skill that we put into our business. And so these are a couple of things I want to focus on today as you guys think about your 60 minutes, you're owning your 60, all right? And so as I kind of take my guide of my slideshow, I'm going to talk about a few things, right? Time is money. My second focus is after I show you guys just the value of your hour and why you should take it, more serious than most, is after that, you're gonna be like, awesome, this is great, but how do I get better at it, right? So I'm gonna dive in deep about that as well for some of the more advanced representatives and some things that I've learned in different industries that have been really helpful and also has shaped my perception on the phone. And those two things is being a professional interrupter. All right, so write that down. Write down that when you're on the phone, you are a professional interrupter, okay? And I know the word interrupt, and that's kind of the biggest red flag to why no one wants to make a phone call, is they don't want to interrupt someone from their day-to-day, right? I remember when I used to make calls after 9 o'clock, right? I mean, a lot of guys would stop making calls after that time, but I was having so much fun and so much confidence that actually I never felt like I was an interruption. I felt that I was just that spark to their day. I was something new to their day. I was just that random guy that was trying to sell you knives. I mean, how often you get, a random dude with a lot of energy and, willing to offer something great like Cutco, right? So there's a perspective, and I'm gonna focus on that a little bit later. And then as well as I'm gonna give you some tips and strategies, an acronym that's worked really well for me. When you are getting objections over the phone, you're curious, like, ooh, what do I say next? I have a simple formula, for those who love the formula. I think of someone like Teresa, right? Always loving the ins and outs, the systems. This is the system to handling objections that not only can you apply in Cutco, but you can literally do it any day, anytime. It's deadly. Actually, once you get really good at it, you feel like you almost are coming in with a loaded gun. It's a weird feeling once you can get really good at it, because you can really leverage what you want, and so it's pretty powerful. But so as I go in through, I'm just going to talk about owning your 60 real quick. All right. And I mean, something like we're comparing ourselves to, like minimum wage is $13 an hour. Is that time negotiable, right? When you're working for an employer, can you decide not to leave because you flipped the most amount of burgers? You flipped 10 times the amount of burgers the other guy did. You sold 10 times the amount of retail product at the store. You did 10 times the job around you, but it doesn't matter. You're still going to get paid the same, right? And you still got to work your time because you're an hourly worker, right? And when you're trying to surround that around your schedule, after a while, you just notice how much time you have in the day and, how much more time you want to do something that you really like. So one of the things I'm going to focus on is getting better at your job so you can do less. Getting better at your job so you can do less down the road. Because as, interesting as it is now, and this is a new journey for a lot of people, but I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, I've been here for 9 years now. You don't really want to be doing the same thing the same way, getting the same results. You're gonna want more. Like, for example, Daniel Reeder, the guy who just sold 6,500, that was off of 3 appointments. Okay, so that guy made $3,000, right, and some change off of 3 to 4 hours of work. Let's just say one of his appointments was a little longer than he wants because that guy likes to talk, even though he's super quick at what he does, right? Now, I'll warn you, out of the gate, you're not going to be making that type of income. And definitely he's been owning his 60, he's been putting that time in, but now it's paid big dividends. That's just a cool example right there. So the question is, how do you own your 60? So I want you guys to write down, there's really 3 choices coming up for you in this next phone jam, okay? And I want you guys to write down 3 numbers on the left side of a paper or a spreadsheet or whatever you have, right? I want you to write 30. Underneath that, write 20. And underneath that, I want you guys to write 10, okay? And so those are the 3 touches that most people are going to make. Those are the 3 touches most people are going to dial. And when I mean a touch, I mean a phone call, I mean a text, I mean a voicemail, okay? So, and the standard is for every touch, 1 demo is booked, all right? So I kind of want to show you the value of your hour. So 30, 20, 10, okay? Now to the right of that 30, right? If you're booking an appointment for every 10 calls, you're going to complete 3 appointments, all right? Below, go to 20. Let's just focus on the 30 for now. 33 appointments, all right? So if you think about it, so per appointment takes about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, right? Per appointment. And then it takes you about an hour to set up those appointments, okay? So with 30 touches and 4 hours worked, with 4 hours worked, all right? The averages in our business, just the simple office averages, okay? So you're doing 3 appointments, you should close on about 2 of those, 2 out of 3, okay? And our office average order is $400, okay? So I want to the right of 4, right, 800, okay? So that's 800 CPO. So that's how much CPO you made off of the 30 touches you see today, that you made today. Okay, and if a lot of you guys are thinking, you're looking at that 30 touches, you're like, Austin, that's 30 names. I don't have 30 names. For whatever reason, obviously that's an opportunity to improve upon that. You can feel free to text me. John can give you my number and I can give you the best recommendation approach. I can teach you the best ways to prospect to get more people to call. Okay, that's an opportunity for tomorrow, right? But for today, we always like to say winners find a way. Right? But I'll actually, at the end, I'll teach you a way on how if you can actually make 30 touches with only 10 contacts. And you'll be probably 5 times more efficient per contact, where you're not going to be sending someone a message and they never get back to you. It's a very good process. Just I'll wait till the end to share that with you. So 800 CPO, right? Now, if you're at entry level, right? Entry level sales in Cutco. So you're at 10%, you're making 10%, you're gonna make $80 off the 800 CPO, okay? Now to the right, if you're dirty 30, now whatever your number is, write it down. This way you have a better idea of your average. So if you're new, 10%, 10% of 800 is $80, right? If you're at 15% of 800 is X amount, 20, and then 30%. If you're 30%, that's 240. That's the Dirty 30 Club. And that's really when the job gets started. I highly recommend anyone who's at, who's making the 10, 15%, you just got to constantly be thinking, how do I get to Dirty 30? How do I get to Dirty 30? And the key is making more touches. So we're making steps there in our future phone jam. And then, so I want you guys to then take 2, so whatever your number is and how much you make off the 800 CPO, divide that, okay? And what you'll notice, because anyone beyond, even a Kailen Garcia, who's an FSM with us as well, or John Baker, right? Even if you're entry level, okay, and you just work 4 hours, you're gonna make at entry level, fresh into the job, okay, the minimum you should make is 20, you're going to be making $20 an hour all the way up to an FSM who's making 50%, you'd be making $400 an hour. Did I do that right? No, you're making $200 an hour. There you go. Yeah. So that just kind of reflects to you, and I think showing back to you guys, like a minimum wage worker out of the gate, they're making $13 an hour. You're out of the gate in our business, you're making $20 an hour, but you're never stuck to that number. As you obviously move up in the company, you're going to be able to earn more, and that's the true value of sales, and that's the true value of owning your 60 is putting in those touches. Now, you know, if on my chart, I could send this all to you guys. But if you, instead of making 30 calls, you know, which 30 touches is very doable. I think a guy like Kailen, he makes at least 50 to 60 touches a phone jam, right? I make maybe 40 to 50. I talk a little more, a lot of fluff. But you know, if you go down from 30 to 20 touches, I'm really excited about the numbers, because the numbers give you certainty in your process, right? A lot of people, they just focus on the money, but you understand that during this the business starts with the touch, okay? It always starts with the phone, okay? And if for example, if you sell yourself short and you didn't do 30, you did 20 touches, you'd literally be shooting your per hour by anywhere from $7 to $20 just by not making a few more calls, okay? And everyone has that opportunity to do as much as they can. And in the long run, if we're all here to make money and make the most amount of it, you might as well do as many as you can. And so I'll throw this challenge a little bit later, but I have a really fun way that can actually free your time at the end, okay? Now, beyond that, now you guys kind of know your number, right? Of how much you make per hour. Anything that's above 20 per hour, okay? If you're making more than that, it's great, right? Let's do the best we can to impact that, okay? So one of the things I want you guys to focus on, and now that you may be more excited about the opportunity, on the fact that you can and will make more money simply working from your home. Think about being a professional interrupter, all right? When you're making these calls and you're calling Mrs. Jones, okay, and you're calling Mrs. Jones and you're saying, and you're coming out of the blue, right? What is everyone doing right now, right? Everyone's at home, experiencing the same day, the same routine, right? You go to work, you come back, it's still COVID. Can you go out to a restaurant? No, right? And we have an opportunity, you know, beyond the passion of the excitement of owning our time and owning our money, right? And owning our opportunity, we can also find reasons to make that impact. You know, that's what I always focus on when I make that call. I think of the reasons that give me purpose, right? I think of the reasons that's going to connect me with that customer. One, you know, any interruption a day, so I had it several times. I've had customers not having the best day in the world, right? Or maybe they're doing something they shouldn't be. Like, I mean, I'm guilty of it sometimes on YouTube all day, every day, or not all day, every day, but I'll watch one video and I'm stuck there for an hour. I would love someone to interrupt my day to get me out of that realm and bring in some energy into my life, bring in some light. You know, hey, how's it going? This is Austin. Is this Larry? Hey, Larry, how's it going, Larry? Hey, Larry, I'm not sure if my name rings a bell. All right, but I'm friend of a friend, right? I'm friend of a friend. You know, I'm not sure if you remember me. Could be a close family member. You know, how's it going? Like, wow. You know, I want to know a little bit more about his day. Perfect. All right. I have the heart. I have the intentions. I'm coming in with a lot of confidence. You know, that's where you want to come from. You want to say, hey, what type of heart can I make for this impact? It's the most simplest things in the world that can change someone's day, right? And, you know, hey, yeah, by the way, you know, I wanted to call because right now I got a really cool opportunity on my hands where I'm able to learn communication skills and get experience for what I want to do down the road. I don't know if you know this, but I have a game plan on becoming a surgeon, getting into the medical industry, owning my own business. And so I've actually been given the opportunity, and I get pages to show it, to work with nice people like Sandra, and she just recommended me to give you a call. And I'm coming in with the impact. I want to learn, I want to grow. Hey, why not 45 to 60 minutes, huh? Don't even talk about the time. In the end of the day, you need guys go in with confidence, and that's how you become a professional interrupter. Lean in with confidence, okay? And know that you're making a change in their state, okay? And now what you're going to sell them from the first off is just a simple meat, but then after that, it's going to be Cutco, and they're going to have it forever, right? Now, beyond this, just because I want to make sure I give you guys enough time on the phone, all right? They might not always say yes. I mean, that's actually a fact, right? They're like, oh, no, I'm busy. Oh, dude, I wish. Tuesday at 3? Oh, man, no, can't do it. I got X, Y, and Z. All right. So I want you guys to write down this acronym right here. It's called ECIR. 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 And the ECIR, E stands for empathy, C stands for clarity, and I stands for isolate, and R stands for respond, okay? So E, empathy, C, clarity, I, isolate, R, respond, okay? So someone, oh man, there's no way, I have no time for you. Hey man, totally understand. Time, man, time is money, right? Time, you have no time? I have no time. I totally understand. Now, is it the day or is it the time? That's the problem. Austin, it's this entire week. This entire week is looking jammed, man. The whole entire week is looking jammed. Dude, I totally understand, man. Totally understand. Hey, would you mind? Here's a good question. Would you mind if I gave you a quick call tomorrow at 3:00? That's the clarity. Would you mind? Oh, sure, man. No worries. Oh, perfect. Well, actually, at 3:00, I actually need to be doing an appointment at that time. So sounds like 3:00 would work good for you? Because it sounds like that time's available. Yeah, it is. Perfect. E, empathy, find the clarity of the problem. He seemed like his day was too big, and then you isolate, and then you simply respond. Anyway, it's a work in progress. If you try it enough times, you'll start understanding it better. But as we lead into phone time, I hope I guys impacted you guys understanding the value of your hour, right? Owning your 60. I taught you guys a little bit about being just professional over the phone with confidence, just excited about your opportunity, and then leaning in with reasons to connect, right? Reasons to connect, leaning in with some purpose. And finally, guys, I want you guys to own your 60 right now. So I'm going to set down, it's called a triple minimum, right? I want you guys to write down 60 minutes, all right? This is the advanced stuff, right? 60 minutes. All of you have the choice today to sit in this phone jam we're about to go into for 60 minutes, and you don't have to make a single call. All I want you to do is enjoy it. I want you to embrace it. I want you to feel good about it. Not a wise move, though, if I may say so myself, okay? 60 minutes. And that 60 is how an entry-level person would think, like, oh, I'm doing my time. Or I want you to make 30 touches. All right? And I'm running out of time, so what I want you guys to do as well, if you're more interested in the triple touch approach, if you only have 10 leads, okay, I want you to go ahead and text me at 909-742-2675, okay? Again, it's 909-742-2675, and I'll text you over that pro so you can make the most out of the leads that you have, all right? Now, 60 minutes, 30 touches, or simply set 3. Whatever one you hit, you're free to go. That's the power of our business. All right. If you set that 3 within 10, 15 minutes, how jacked would you be knowing that you're off for the day? You're good to go. You can do whatever you want. You earned and you bought back 45 minutes of time. That's something that only a sales profession can offer, right? So I give you those opportunities right there. Maybe you can't get 3, do 30. It takes you about a minute per touch with my program. You'll have it done in like 30 minutes. All right, if you work it the right way. Okay, or just sit there and have some fun, just sitting around for 60 minutes like an entry level person. Or you can make the big bucks and one day be making 40 to $200 an hour in this business, and definitely leverage your time around everything you're doing. So guys, I appreciate it. I wish I had my screen share ability to send your way, and if you guys do want that, I can send that as well. All right, guys, I appreciate your time. Give it back to Mr. Baker.
All right, cool. That was some great stuff. So I like the mindset shift of how you enter your phone time, right? So like mindset's a big thing about everything that we do here. Only correction is you're not good to leave once you hit your triple minimum. All right. Well, at least for like the team meeting, but that's great for like when you're doing your personal phone jams on the side. Because after this phone jam, Kailen's gonna wrap us up with some fuego. All right. So with some super fire money tips. All right. But in the meantime, let's strike while the iron's hot. All right. You guys just learned those money tips from Austin. Let's put them to use. All right. It's no good to learn something and not put it into action. So we're gonna make some phone calls right now. Hold on, let me shift away from Austin. All right. We're gonna make some phone calls right now. We're gonna be phoning for we're gonna go until 7:10. Okay. So about 50 minutes. We're gonna just crush this phone jam. As a team, we only had 9 demos before the team meeting ahead of us. All right. That scares me because there's 17 of us on here. So we definitely need to make sure we have some more demos and really focus on your goals. All right. What is it going to take to hit your goal? Some of you guys that I was talking to at the paycheck meeting, right? What did we talk about? It's like you can't do one demo in a week, right? And expect something great to happen in one demo. You're only giving yourself one shot to have a big order, one shot to make a sale, one shot for anything to happen. And it's like, if you didn't make a sale in that one demo, then you only earn $20, which still isn't exciting for a whole week, right? So we want to make sure we crush it on this phone jam. Let's try to get 3 demos. Austin said it, right? That's what your focus should be in the next 50 minutes. 3 demos. And then now I already know, like some of you guys, like Solomon, you're in your fast start contest. So you're probably going to book way more than 3, right? Because you have goals that you're trying to hit and you're focused. So some of you guys are going to book more. Some of you guys will book a little bit less, but let's just get after it. Let's start making our calls. And I got that playlist ready for the music that you guys have requested. All right. So keep your cameras on while you're phoning, because if your camera's not off, I'm going to assume that you are not making calls and you're being distracted. All right. So let's roll.
All right, John, give me that separate invite room, bro. About to have our PR jam.
I meant to play this song first because I like this song too. So Kailen Garcia, he has been with the business. Correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say 7 years, 8 years. I don't know. Lower, 6 years. Lower? 6.5. All right, doesn't matter. He's worked here for a while, longer than most of you. All right, and Kailen has sold a lot of Cutco. He's ran 2 branch offices. So he did the Cutco through college program, sold a lot of Cutco's first summer, came back, ran a branch, then did it again to beat what his first branch did. And he one thing I admire most about Kailen, right? Me and Kailen have been friends for a long time now. I was actually Kailen's assistant manager at one point, which is pretty cool. And Kailen, he's always going to be the hardest worker in the room. That's one thing I can for sure count on. And I've seen Kailen in the room with some of the most talented individuals that I've ever known, and he's always the hardest worker. He's always the most consistent. Like I've hung out with Kailen, and we just be hanging out. He's like, "Hey, I gotta go," and he just like goes on a 2 mile run. Like he just dips. Like we're all hanging out watching the Laker game. He's like, "I gotta go run," right? And so like that's one thing I really admire about Kailen is his consistency. So he's gonna teach you guys some of the habits that he's created, and since he's been back in our business, he's been consistently selling about $1,000 to $2,000 each week. So, Kailen, go ahead and take it away, sir.
Sweet. Thank you, John. I appreciate those kind of words. I'm gonna start sharing my screen. All right, cool. Do you guys see the screen? Give me a thumbs up. All right, cool. All right, how do I play this? Present. All right. So I want to talk about just selling consistently. And it was really cool. I actually didn't realize I did the Cut Through College program until John did the slide. I was like, that's right. I was an assistant manager. Then I branched once, and then I branched again. And then I did the CSP route for like the 4th year. So it's just really cool that I learned a lot. And I think the main reason why I was given the opportunity, I was able to do the Cut Code Through College is because I was consistent and selling every week. So I want to just tell you a quick story of why I sell consistently. I remember one time in my Cutco career, I became an assistant manager in April of 2015. No, January of 2015. And so I had more duties. You know, I had to run interviews, I had to coach reps, I had to run some parts of training, and then I had to sell at the same time. So, and on top of that, I was going to school. And it was just very challenging for me to obviously juggle all that stuff. And I noticed I was doing my assistant manager role pretty well. But then I noticed my sales were dropping. And it's really hard to coach a rep when you're not selling consistently because you're not leading by example. So I was just like, how do I make the switch? And I kind of just broke down like my numbers late at the end of January. I was like, man, I didn't make enough calls, or I didn't do enough demos, and that's what it came down to. So the beginning of February, I made a commitment to myself from February until the end of August. So the last week of the summer, that I was gonna make 30 calls every day, Monday through Sunday. All right, and then a lot of you are like, wow, oh my God, that's so crazy. Like I would never do that. And like, yeah, I'm not telling you to do that, but that's the commitment I made to myself back then. And I followed through every single day, Monday through Sunday. And I'm telling you, there's some days, like especially Sundays in the evenings, when I was like, dang, I know I have to do 30 calls, and I didn't want to, and I still did it. And I'll tell you, those were the times that I needed to do it the most, because those were the times where I set, 1 or 2 appointments that led to $1,000 or $2,000 in sales. So, and I just want to tell you what happened when I committed from February 1st to the end of August 31st. I want to tell you my results. So first, my income, I think I made about 15 grand in just commissions alone from February to August. And that's me working basically part-time, going to school and being an assistant manager. If you break that down, it's about $300 to $400 a week that I'm making. And for a college student, that's great money. I can go to Chick-fil-A, I can take my girlfriend out to eat, I can do a lot of things. I can party, spend money on Kool-Aid. It was amazing. I hit President's Club, both campaigns. So that's the letter John talked about. And I'll tell you what, I work a full-time job right now at another company, and I'm transitioning back to Cutco to become a district manager this summer. And I'll tell you that thing really impressed my manager. It impressed my manager. Like, dude, you got a handwritten letter from the CEO of the company? And I was like, no, dude, I have 2 of them. Well, I actually have about 15 now. But he was like in shock how many times I had them. And then the third thing was the newsletter. So I was able to put on my resume that I hit the newsletter literally, February to August. I think that's about 20 weeks in a row. No, 25 weeks in a row. That's another like resume builder. Like, oh my gosh, you're very consistent. You're not just a one-hit wonder. And then the last one was a top 25 campaign for the division. So in our division, I think there's about 10 offices. Each office has about 30 to 50 reps. So I was top 25 around 500 reps in the whole division. I was a 1% in the whole division. So for a lot of you thinking that you want to, gain experience, it starts by selling consistently, because you're going to get those newsletters, those president's clubs, that income, and obviously the just the bonuses and the recognition when you're selling consistently. So I have a few points for you guys. My first point is demos with qualified customers. Okay, this is an easy way to be consistent. So qualified customers tend to actually do the presentation and not lag on you because they're very good with their schedule. If you're doing appointments with people that are not qualified, like Max, I believe they still teach this in training, someone that's married, over 30, and owns a house. So if you're doing with qualified people, you're not wasting your time, and at the same time, you're getting a higher average order. Okay? And if you're getting a higher average order, you're making more money. And the reason we do it with Max is because they have dual income for the most part, and they're looking to buy assets for their home. Cutco is an asset. Cutco is something they'll have forever. People that usually are renting like apartments, I'm not saying they don't have the money, but for the most part, they're saving to buy a home. So once they have a home, they're gonna buy assets they're gonna use on a daily basis. And at the end of the day, they have children that they have to feed. So know that when you're doing demos with qualified customers, you're gonna sell more, and it's the right market. Now, another thing is just doing demos in general. I was just speaking to another reps I coach, and I noticed it's not that just that person, but it's a lot of people that I coach, is that they're not giving themselves a lot of opportunities. So when Austin talked about the calls, he gave a lot of good nuggets, and he broke down the math for you. Literally, if you're just doing, 1 call, 5 calls a week, you're not going to really do well. Like, to being straight up, you're not going to do well at all. It's just the truth. Like, you're only giving yourself 5 shots a week to set an appointment. Sometimes no one answers. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. You're only giving yourself 5 shots. If you do like 10 calls a day, Monday through Friday, you're giving yourself 50 shots to set, appointments. And with Austin's stats, his ratio, it takes about 10 calls to set 1 appointment. Some of you have better stats, but the average nationwide is about 10 calls for 1 appointment. So when I was doing, calls Monday through Sunday, 30 calls a day, I was, if you think about it, I was averaging 3 appointments a day, times that by 7 days a week. That's 20, what is 20, 21? I don't know. I'm not good with math. 21 appointments a week I'm setting. And that's why I was so consistent. I was just doing more demos. And the difference between you and I is not that I'm a better person than you, I'm smarter, I went to a better school or my family. It's literally I've done more calls than all of you combined. That's the only reason why I'm selling $2,000 a week, is I've done more calls than you that week. That's it. And I'm just seeing qualified customers. So the thing is, do more demos by making more calls and see qualified customers. Next is following the manual. So following the manual is like the Bible of Cutco. All right. And we talked about this in training, and I go back to it because it's just the fundamentals that everyone should follow and why you should sell Cutco. So the manual covers every type of person. So there's people out there like Mrs. Jones, Mr. Jones, that are very analytical and they like to see the numbers. When you follow the manual word for word, it covers people that are very analytical and want to know why buying Cutco makes sense for their home. And it builds 100% of the value when you read it word for word. If you're like skipping lines and like not following and doing 75%, 65% of the manual and just kind of doing it on your own, you're only building 65% of the value in Cutco. And I was guilty of this. I was sometimes cutting corners, not doing the full presentation. And when I told them the price, like, oh my God, it's so expensive. It's because I was building 65% of the value. I wasn't following the manual. So read it word for word. And the cool thing about it now is that you can literally just read it word for word because the customer doesn't know if you're looking at the screen, looking at her or looking at the screen. When I was doing appointments in 2014 and 15 and 16, I actually drove to the customer's house and I told the customer, Mrs. Jones, is it cool if I read my manual because I'm new? She's like, yeah, it's fine. And it was really awkward. Imagine you being a 35-year-old Mrs. Jones or Mrs. Jones seeing a 18, 19-year-old kid read a manual in front of you, like, kill me, but now literally you can read it and you're not even gonna realize that you're reading it. So read it word for word you're bringing 100% of value. That means when you present the price, they should be right where the price is at. It makes sense, or above that. And then the other thing, following the manual answers every question a customer might be thinking. So if put yourself in the customer's shoes, when you're thinking about Cutco, like, why should I buy Cutco? Why is this, the student presenting to me? Why should I even invest in a set of knives? The manual covers everything. For example, when you do the price comparison, customers are already thinking, why should I buy Cutco? I'm sure there's other better knives. So we do the price comparison, so they see that there is better knives, but this is the reasons why people buy Cutco. So they're educated on that. Because sometimes people, when they buy a car, they want to go to other dealerships. But if the sales rep is educated and tells them, like, this is what we have at every dealership, but today, this is the price, then it's going to make sense for them to buy it today or at that dealership just because of the better deals and they have more understanding versus having a customer think there's better options around. So that's why we bring it up for them. And then the last one is just recs. So I did a lot of appointments because I had a lot of recs, and then I don't know what page it's now, John. I believe it's still page 16 in the manual, the recommendation page.
I think so, but it has a tab now, so they just click on it.
Got it. See, now you guys have a tab. I had page 16. So page 16 is the recommendation page. The recommendation, it's still the same though, right, John? Give me a thumbs up. Still the same. Okay. Now, can anyone here, I'll literally give someone, no, you know what? This is risky because you guys can pull it up right now and see and read it word for word. But back then, when I would give a talk to a rep, I would say, hey, I'll give someone $100 right now if they can read this page 16 word for word without looking at your manual. I can't do that now because you guys can literally pop it up and I wouldn't know the difference. So I had to have it memorized. And when I had it memorized, customers were giving me more recommendations. So even though you have it on your screen, I encourage you to memorize it, because when you memorize it and internalize it and say it with confidence, you'll get more recs, more recommendations. If you're telling Mrs. Jones, like, hey, Mrs. Jones, like, there's one more very important part. You should really help me out. I get paid every time I show Cutco. And like you're stuttering and mumbling and not confident, they're not going to give you any recommendations, because why would they want to recommend you to their friends if you're not a confident person? Like, I wouldn't recommend you to my friends if you were not confident. Like, yeah, you know what? Like, it was great and all. I just don't think they're going to be interested just because you're not confident. So memorize that page. Literally, it's like 7 lines. Write it down 100 times or 50 times or 20 times. You have it memorized. This is like your money maker. If you don't sell, doesn't matter. You have 20 more people to call. 20 more people to call. Like, you're going to do more presentations, more demos. You're giving yourself more shots to sell Cutco. And when you give yourself more shots, you're going to sell more. Literally, Cutco sells itself. We've been around since 1949. All right, 1949. And like, that says a lot. I can't think of products that have been around for that long, personally, and something that they'll use every single day. So these are my three points. Literally, do demos with qualified people, make the calls, follow the manual, and then ask with confidence the recommendation page. Because some of you, this is probably the most key. Some of you probably get like nervous, or like, they've done enough. They've already bought from me. I don't need recs. But then you're in a situation where, like, I have like 10 people left on my recommendation sheet. I need more recs. You just got to keep asking for recommendations. And you as a college student, you're a college student for the most part. You're not like a 40-year-old insurance salesman. You sell knives. Like, people are just going to give you recs because you're a college student trying to obviously pay for college. So leverage that, by using the approach. And just wrapping up here, is it going to be easy to sell consistently? Like, after this talk, it really depends if you've been consistent already. If you haven't been making calls or following the manual or getting recs from like, from the day you started, it's probably going to be a little uphill battle right now, But I encourage you, if you give yourself like 3 phone jams a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, you give yourself 3 phone jams a week, I can almost guarantee that you will be a lot more successful. You'll sell a lot more, and you'll have more reps just because you're giving yourself 3 phone jams a week. If you're only making phone calls at the team meeting, you're not doing the job right. And you're literally working from home. Like, think about it. Like, you're literally working from home, making money from home. Like, I wish I didn't have to drive back then. Like, I just, the opportunity here is like so much greater. So that's my like one action step is do 3 phone jams a week. And if you make 10 calls a phone jam, great. If you make 20 calls, great. But at least make calls in the double digits. You know, if you stay in the single digits, it's not going to really get you that many results unless you're like super, super great at the phone. You know, and I know a lot of you are just starting or learning the phone. Like, I didn't get great on the phone until it was like my 2nd year on the job. And I used to be scared to call a pizza guy in high school. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, you guys can feel to reach out to me through WhatsApp. I'm always happy to help, but I appreciate you guys' time. Hopefully this helped out.
Awesome. All right, Kailen, stop sharing your screen real quick. All right, you guys. So in the team chat, real quick, post some of your takeaways that you got from either Austin's talk or Kailen's talk. Post a light bulb. Like, this is kind of like a divisional culture, is being able to like share something that you learned from a message. What it does is it helps you retain all the information a little bit better, and also shows the speaker that you were listening. So in the team chat, all right, in our team WhatsApp, go ahead and share that really quick. And with any of these guys and any of my assistant managers, you're going to start hearing from them a little bit more on the team meeting agendas. Feel free to reach out to these guys afterwards. Like, this is their job, is to help you guys succeed at the highest level. Like, don't leave here wondering and like, oh man, what did Austin say again? Or could he clarify this? Don't leave here with questions like that. That's not going to help you. All right. Oops. Hold on. I'm sharing the wrong screen. All right. Real quick, you guys, I just want, you know how Kailen said, Kailen and Austin were both talking about like the amount of calls that you need to make for success. All right. So you don't need to always sit through like an hour-long phone session, but you could do multiple mini sessions throughout the week. All right. So can everybody see my screen? Is it the workshops and stuff like that? Okay, cool. So these are a little bit tentative, right? Like, some of them will adjust, but I want to show you guys what's happening in the office. All right. This is why it's important to come to the meetings, the team meetings. So this way you guys know what's happening in the office. Because sometimes it's easy if you like miss an event and you're like, oh, well, no, there's nothing happening, so like I don't need to do anything. All right. Like on Mondays, we have 2 phone jams that happen. All right. And the reason why these phone jams are happening is because my assistant managers are making phone calls for themselves, for their own paychecks, their own results, and their own goals. So like Kailen usually does it on Mondays from 11 to 12, except for this upcoming Monday. All right, so this upcoming Monday, correct, Kailen, is no go. But Jacob Hall does his from 4 to 4:30. All right, Tuesdays, typically that's Allie. I just don't know what time she's going to do it this Tuesday. Wednesday, we have our team event. Thursday, there's nothing right there at the moment. But on Friday morning, Teresa's doing a phone jam from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Saturday, Brent is going to get moved back a little bit later on in the day. So maybe Brent, you can post it in the chat box what time you're going to do your phone jam this Saturday. And then Austin does his from 11 to 12. And then on Sunday, we have our paycheck meeting from 6 to 7 p.m. So I'll post this in the chat box with like the more updated times. But could you commit to one of those times, Alex? Right? Like Shaylee, could you commit to making sure, like, all right, I'm going to be here for the team meeting, I'm going to make calls here, but can I get 2 more phone sessions in? And you don't have to do it all by yourself, right? There's other people making calls. Might as well join with them, and then you'll be able to ask them some questions and get some tips and probably get some one-on-one times with them. And here's the thing. I know like those phone jams, they are not packed, right? So like, cause everybody has different goals and different timings. So you more than likely you get some really great one-on-one time with Kailen, and you're like, hey Kailen, can I learn from you? Can you coach me a little bit more? And so on and so forth like that. All right, but we are at our time. It is 7:30. Thank you guys for being here tonight. And here's the thing. I know you don't need to be here. most college students are probably not up right now, like learning, like focusing on growing themselves and getting better at what they do for work. So that's why I applaud you guys for showing up for this, because it's always going to make you better, right? It's going to make you a little bit better each and every single week, and you're gonna be pumped once you guys hit your goals, earn some President's Club letters, and join us. All right. So have a great night, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Adios.